So, good morning. Second year Bcom Computer Applications. Second year Bcom Computer Applications, Semester 4 Web Technologies, Unit 2 DHTML. Web Technologies, Unit 2 DHTML. So, there are 5 to 6 technologies are used in DHTML. First one is style sheets or cascading style sheets. Second one is some JavaScript. Third one is DOM or document object model. Fourth one is events and event handling. Fourth one is events and event handling. So today we start with CSS or style sheets or cascading style sheets. CSS or cascading style sheets or style sheets. Mainly CSS or cascading style sheets are used to design a web page. Mainly CSS or style sheets are used to design, apply some design to a website. Mainly these design contains changing or setting colors, fonts, themes, like that. So we discuss one by one here in this PPT. So CSS, first part of DHTML is CSS or cascading style sheets. Adoris. Hello. Sound okay? So style sheets or cascading style sheet. So what is CSS? Useful for creating one unified look for an entire website. Helps to separate style from content. Can be used for creating absolute positioning. Generally, CSS or cascading style sheets or style sheets are useful for creating unified look, means uniform look, means generally style sheets are applied for a uniform look of a web page in a website. So all the pages in a website should be look uniformly or same, means the font should be same, the colors should be same, font size should be same in all the pages of a web page, or the themes should be same, the headings, headers and footers are same, should be same. Similarly, foreground and background colors and images, themes, patterns and everything should be same, means it looks like a uniform. It should look like a uniform look for an entire website of all the web pages of a web application or website. Helps to separate. Generally CSS files or style sheets are separately stored from the main content of the web page, so that CSS or style sheets helps to separate style from content. Can be used for creating absolute positioning. Absolute positioning means placing exact positions, placing images, graphics, pictures, animations, anything are placed at exact positions on a web page or a website. So all these are main points used for CSS. So this is the history of CSS. So defining CSS. So how to define and how to use CSS. How to define and how to use CSS means styles. They are called as styles. Styles can be defined in three different ways. So style sheets or CSS or cascading style sheets are three types, or can be used in three ways. First one is so how to use a style sheet, or how to define and declare a CSS or a style sheet in a web page. So by using style tag, CSS files or CSS themes or CSS settings or style sheets can be created in a HTML page by using style tag. So syntax is style/style. So by using style tag, we may simply create style sheets or cascading style sheets. So styles, they are called styles. Styles can be defined in three different ways. The style tag, that is style/style. An embedded style attribute. An embedded style attribute means we can embed or we can use the style tag within a HTML tag. So using of style tag or using of style parameter or using of style attribute within any HTML means any ఏదైనా ఒక HTML ట్యాగ్లో ఈ స్టైల్ ట్యాగ్ అనేది యూజ్ చేయడం అనేది రెండో మెథడ్. ఫస్ట్ మెథడ్ ఏంటి, స్టైల్ ట్యాగ్ డైరెక్ట్గా మనం యూజ్ చేయడం అనేది HTML స్క్రిప్ట్లో ప్రోగ్రాంలో స్టైల్ ట్యాగ్ అనేది డైరెక్ట్గా యూజ్ చేయడం అనేది ఫస్ట్ మెథడ్. సెకండ్ మెథడ్ మనకి ఏదైనా ఒక HTML ట్యాగ్లో మనకి స్టైల్ అనేది మనము స్టైల్ అనే పారామీటర్ అనేది యాడ్ చేయడం అనేది సెకండ్ మెథడ్. Third method is an external style sheet. External style sheet means link. By using link tag, we may externally create style sheets. So basically, style sheets or HTML style sheets or CSS or cascading style sheets are basically three types. First one is inline style sheets. Second one is internal style sheets, and the third one is external style sheets. So we may discuss all these things one by one here. So the first method is the style tag, that is style slash style tag. So how to use style tag in HTML page? So the syntax is style type is equals to style. So the syntax is style type is equals to style type is equals to within quotes some text by CSS and some comment HTML comments like less than question mark 2 dots h1 bracket open color colon blue semicolon font style colon italic and slash dash dash greater than symbol slash style. So this is the syntax of the style sheets, style tag. This is the syntax of the style tag. So how to use a style tag to define any style or style sheets or any cascading style. Style type is equals to within quotes text by CSS less than exclamatory 2 dashes h1 bracket open color colon blue semicolon font style colon italic slash tag. The style tag must be closed. The style tag must be closed means the style tag we may write this CSS code within style slash style tags only. For CSS the type is always text by CSS. So for any style sheets, any type of style sheets or for defining style sheets or CSS, we may type the text as text by CSS. So style type is equals to text by CSS. The HTML comment tags are optional, allowing for background compatibility. So we may or may not write. We may or may not write the HTML comments tags for style sheets. So not often used in practice. So next is embedded style sheets. So second type of, so as we already discussed with there are three types of style sheets or styles or cascading style sheets are used. The first one is internal style sheets, external style sheets and inline style sheets. So in this style tag is called as internal style sheets. It is also called as internal style sheets. So next we discuss about embedded style sheets. Embedded style sheets means we may simply write the style tag, style code or style parameter attribute within a HTML tag only, within a HTML tag. So the type of syntax is called as inbuilt or inline. The type of tags are called as inline HTML tags or inline tags. So syntax is, example is B space style is equals to within quotes color colon black. B space style is equals to within quotes color colon black. So here B means bold. So we write some style sheet, we apply some style sheet to bold tag so that B space style is equals to within quotes color colon black semicolon. Here color is the value, color parameter or attribute or characteristic. Colon black means parameter value. B is the bold tag. So here we may write the style tag. Here we may write apply some style tag or apply some style sheet tag to the bold or B tag of the HTML. So we may write similarly we may write allowed to write more than one styles or more than one style sheets by separating with some semicolon and a space symbol. So this is the syntax of writing or embedding or inserting some CSS or style sheets within a HTML tag. Most tags accept style as a valid attribute. So we may insert, we may write or we may insert or we may apply any these style sheet parameters to any of the almost all of the HTML tags. Best used for one shot styles or special cases. So this is the frequently used method to apply. This is the most frequently used method to insert or embed any styles within the HTML tag. Almost this method is used for almost all HTML tags. So third type of using HTML or style sheets are external style sheets. Third type of using style sheets is called as external style sheets. So in this method we may simply use some we may simply the style store the style sheet code or cascading style sheet code into an external file with a CSS files. Generally external files have an extension .css. So we simply save and enter and save these style sheet codes in a file, external file, and use that external file in a HTML code by using link command, by using some link command. So the syntax is link. Rel is equals to some style sheet, type is equals to text by CSS, href is equals to some file name .css. Here file name mystyles.css is the external file which is stored on the external to the HTML file, means which this file is stored within a web server. We may simply access that file, and the syntax is link. It is called as a link. By using link tag we simply link the particular style sheet or a particular command or a particular cascading style sheet to the particular HTML code. So let's use link and external file. Let's use link as an external file. So great for using the same styles on many pages. So this type is this type of external means external style sheets are useful for using external for using on many web pages. Means the same file can be used for more than one HTML page at a time. Means one CSS file is created, and the same CSS or style sheet file can be used on many web pages. The file should have only CSS and no HTML in it, and generally the CSS file means a style sheet file have only CSS code or style sheet code only, without using any HTML code or without having any HTML code. Links should be located in the header. You can have multiple link tags in a single document. So what is the syntax of CSS? How to use CSS and what is the syntax of CSS? There are two parts to a CSS statement: the class selector and attributes. So generally while using and writing CSS, there are two parts are used. First one is called as the selector and second one is called as attribute. So here the selector says who to apply to the style, and the attribute says how to format the selected portion. So here in the last line it is the example of CSS: p bracket open margin left colon 5em semicolon margin right colon. So here p is the paragraph tag. Here p is the paragraph tag. Paragraph tag is generally used to start a new paragraph in HTML. So margin left and margin right are two attributes. Attributes means two properties. Margin left and margin right are two attributes or properties. 5em and 5em are generally their values or some constants. There some values are constants here. So this is the simple example of using CSS. So selectors. So what are selectors? Selectors and attributes or values. The selector indicates what elements the style should be applied to. So selector means the property. Generally the selectors are also known as the properties. Means every HTML tag have various properties in them. So means, for example, alignment. Align is the HTML tag. Align have different properties. Left align, top align, bottom align, right align. All these are properties. So selectors are nothing but the selector indicates what elements the style should be applied to. So what are selectors? Selectors means the tags. HTML tags are HTML elements. Selector means HTML tag or HTML elements. By default, this is all elements of the group indicated. For example, bold, italic, paragraph, all these are selectors. Why? Because they are HTML tags or HTML tags or HTML codes. There are three kinds of subgroup selectors: class selector and ID selector and contextual selectors. Again, selectors are three types: class selectors, ID selectors and contextual selectors. So class selectors named should follow the same syntax you would use for a JavaScript variable. Allows the potential for scripting. To create one, you simply choose a valid element name and so class selector example. So this is the example for class selectors. So style, here we use a style tag, style/style. P means new paragraph, bracket open, font size, colon, 14 points, semicolon, margin left, colon, some value, semicolon, margin right, colon, some value, semicolon, like that. ID selector. What is ID selectors? ID selectors let you define a rule that applies to only one element in the entire document. Contextual selectors. So moral selectors. So similarly, you may use multiple select commands or multiple select statements separated by with a comma. So H1, for example, if you want to set the color, text color, foreground color, background color of color to green of H1, H2, H3, H4 headers. So you may write in a single line of code, that is H1, H2, H3, H4 space bracket open color colon green. So there is all kind of vaguely stuff in the properties. So what are the different properties are used? Basic syntax. So the properties are enclosed in curly braces. The properties are enclosed in curly braces. Properties are separated from one another by semicolon. Properties are separated from their values by a colon. Each property must have at least one value and multiple values are separated by commas. So these are the rules, different types of rules to write and use and write properties. So property values. So what are property values? There are 5 kinds of property values. Keyword properties like underline, visible, etc. All these are not case sensitive. And length properties. Length properties are, for example, line 4px, 5cm, etc. And percentage values. Percentage values are line height, like that. So all these are different slides. So we start with another slide also. So this is another slide about style sheets, or about introduction to CSS or style sheets. So what is CSS? CSS means cascading style sheet, determines how the elements in our HTML documents are displayed and formatted. So CSS means mainly used to format the document, HTML documents, and how these how the elements are displayed in the HTML files, like that. By using CSS, we separate the content of the page from the presentation. By using CSS, we separate the content of the web page from the presentation, format and styling of the content. So CSS or cascading style sheets are mainly used to separate the content of a web page from presentations. So presentation is different. Presentation means having some formatting, styling of the sheets, styling of the documents, etc. And the content of web page is different. Content means some text, some tables, animations, pictures, graphics, images, like that. Presentations means applying some foreground colors, background colors, fonts, font styles, themes, headers, footers, like that. So by using CSS, we may separate both the content as well as presentation. So CSS enables us to make all pages of our website look similar and consistent. So by using CSS, we may apply all the settings. So by using a single CSS file, we may apply all the settings, changes to entire all the pages of a HTML document. That is a very useful technique. So by single change or single updation, we may apply all the changes to entire website. Next one is the power of CSS is that it allows us to make site-wide formatting changes by making edits to a single file. So by using CSS files, we may format all the changes. We may apply all the formatting changes to a single, by using a single HTML file. Generally the settings will be applicable to all the pages or entire website. So next is three ways to use CSS. So what are the different types of CSS commands, or how to use, what are the different types of using CSS files. So generally CSS files are three types as we already discussed in the previous slide.